Hello, people. Welcome to another amazing session today. This is going to be an awesome conversation. Yeah. I had to remove that, guys. That was just too loud. Okay. Welcome. I see Mohammed in the room. Who else is in the building? Tell me. Where are you joining us from tonight? Where are you joining us from? Let's hear it from you. Thank you so much for joining the class. I'm 5 minutes late. It's not in our culture, but we needed to do some fixing here and there. Okay. Who is excited to be in the room? Let me see for our live from this end. Who is excited? Who is excited? Yeah, are you excited? I'm in an elevated space today. Yeah. How many of you can see the change in position? How many of you can see that? So fast. Thank you. Okay, Evelyn is in the building. Evelyn, how are you? Welcome to class. Welcome. How is everyone doing today? I'm excited. The power of flow. How to stop struggling. How to stop struggling, right? How to stop struggling and truly be able to do the needful in terms of getting results. Somebody says the volume is low. Can you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Please, can you increase your volume? Bali, how are you? Tell me, can you hear me clearly? Is it audible enough? Let me see from the chat room. Delhi is joining us from South Africa. Okay. Excel, you can hear me audibly? Somebody says the volume is low. Okay, who else can hear me? Okay, Evelyn, Excel can hear me, Miracle can hear me. Okay, interesting. Okay, I think we are good to go. If you are good to go, say, I am good to go, Coach Faith. Are you good to go tonight? If you are good to go, say, good to go. All right, so who can tell us the topic of today? I'm excited about this topic. Yeah. For many years now, I've been researching about flow on different ends, and it's been a beautiful one. Okay, if you see me looking this way, I'm trying to scroll down on my laptop so I can get my notes. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. If you're a first timer, tell us first timer. Who is a first timer here? Let's know that it's your first time joining the class. Is it your first time joining the class? Somebody says I can hear you, but the sound. I can hear you with slight noise. Really? Okay, let me see if I can do some. Hello? Okay, there's an echo there. Is it better? Is it better this way? There's a certain sound disturbing. Okay, we have to make do with this, please. Maybe we'll try and set it up some more. Last week was really bad. Okay. Okay, let's talk about flow. The power of flow. How many of us are interested in this topic? There is no way we can talk about growth, personal development in whatever area of life that we really would not talk about flow. Flow is a necessity. We must be able to talk about it. It is a prerequisite to growth. It's a prerequisite to moving from where you are to the next level. There is so much that is really required for us to be able to let go of struggles. Because I've seen again and again that a lot of us are really struggling, right? I've been on this path for a long time now, and some of the key things I have seen is the fact that a lot of people are truly passionate about their personal growth journey. Their personal growth journey. Okay? A lot of people are passionate about their personal growth journey. But the challenge most times is that they start and they don't stay committed. How many of you have been there? Like you start today and after a while you don't stay committed anymore. All right? I want us to create a balance, all right, in our work and our commitment to transformation, whether it's whatever of growth you're currently looking out for on your journey. It's important that we're able to really create that balance, okay, so that we can continue to experience growth on multiple ends, okay. All right, we like to be back so we can continue to experience growth on multiple ends. Do we get that? Okay, so that we can continue to experience growth on multiple ends. So, understanding flow is very important. It's a prerequisite to ensuring that we are able to let go of the struggles that comes with personal development, that comes with business advancement, spiritual alignment, and a whole lot. All right, we must be able to do that, and that's why this topic is very important. This is Personal Development Masterclass. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Faith Michael, and I'm super excited to be having this conversation with you. Today is your first time in the community. I'd like you to stay connected because there's so much that you're going to be gleaning from the community that will really take you to the next level. All right? So let's talk about some of the key objectives of this very class. Why did I set up this class? So we can have a foundation. I like you to write it down, okay, as much as possible. Whatever it is that is really going to touch your heart to say, this is what you're looking forward to. I would also need you to use that as a way to set up your expectations. Because the expectations of the righteous man, a man with a growth mindset, a man that is ready for transformation, the expectation won't be what? Cut short. Did you get that? Such man, his or her expectation will never be cut short. So we're going to be able to understand the true meaning of flow, all right? We're going to understand it. We're going to identify the differences between struggling to grow and really growing with ease, okay? How many of us have experienced struggles before, like maybe in the form of distractions, in the form of procrastinations, in the form of whatever? If you've experienced it before, share with me. Share with me in the comments. Just type struggle so I know that I'm talking to the right people. And then you have to be able to also recognize what is currently blocking you. Is it mental? Is it spiritual? Is it emotional? Like when we're talking about the portals of the dimensions of reception when it comes to personal growth in our last meeting, I spoke about the fact that personal development is holistic. We cannot talk about personal development and totally just separate ourselves from certain experiences. Okay? There has to be that balance. That balance has to be there. You have to also learn to activate the flow state in your everyday experience. That's another thing. Okay, I see Bali. Bali says struggle. Okay, we are going to be able to activate it. We may not be able to round up this session today. I want you to know that I'm to take you on a flow series. I may do this continuously for the next 2 months. All right. We're going to try as much as possible to touch on the main thing and ensure that we're able to get results. And then you're also going to begin to practice it on a daily basis. All right. You're going to begin to practice it so that it can begin to align with the result that you are looking forward to. All right. And then begin to also work in purpose. I love personal growth. Somebody should type that in the room. I love personal development. I love it. Right? It's such a game changer. It changes the game every single time. All right? So why does it even matter to talk about flow in the first place? Why is Coach Faith so passionate about it? In fact, guys, when I wanted to put together this flyer, it took me quite a while to be able to just settle in on that very topic. Do you see that? It took me quite a while to settle in on the topic because I felt like people would not understand. How many of you understand what I'm saying? Like when you saw the fly, were you like, what's this power flow? Where are we flowing to? Where are we flowing to? I see Kingsley in the room. Kingsley, welcome to class. Did you ask such questions to say, where are we flowing to? Do you see? So it took me quite a while to be able to align Okay, so it took me quite a while to be able to just align with you because I understand that members of my community may be able to relate, but the truth is, it's not everybody that can truly relate with the subject. Not everybody. How many of you got thrown off balance for a while? Or how many of you went further to research the subject to say what's spirituality even going to talk about? The truth is, you do not know about flow. Personal development is going to be a hassle. I'm telling you, whether it's your business, your relationship, whatever it is going to be a hassle. You're going to struggle for a long time. Okay? So let me ask you a question before we go deeper. When was the last time you got so immersed in an experience? Okay, for those of you that have gone through my personal development coaching program, my framework, Coach Faith framework, you see that there's always a place where I talk about immersion. And I will go deeper to talk about your learning patterns, how to learn well, and all the different combinations that can truly set you ablaze. You see? So, one thing I always ask people, are you truly immersed? Like, have you been in a situation where you are so immersed in a flow state? Let me not use the word flow again. Let's flip it. Like you're so immersed in an experience, and they could hardly even, you could hardly even come out of it. You so enjoying the experience, and you got to the level you're like you don't want to come out of that experience. How many of you have been there? How many of you have been there? The kind of experience that people like, um, what's his name, Thomas Edison had, that they would have to work on a project, integrating, iterating all the different compartments of that experiment to ensure that they are able to keep up. Like they keep showing up again and again for 1,000 times, 10,000 times, and they never get to stop. All right? While I was carrying out my research, Isaac Newton, how many of us know Isaac Newton? The, the man that really propounded or came up with the theory of the law of gravity. He spent about 2 years in a farmland, right? In his farmland house. He was there for like 2 years, just researching, immersing himself in the flow state. For those of us that are spiritual people that love to pray, possibly you love to meditate, you know that if you are meditating or praying, if you've gotten into the flow state, you can be so in the zone, like for hours, you're not coming out. And by the time you check your watch, you're gonna be like, oh my god, I thought I'd only spent 30 minutes. Whereas I've actually done 5 hours, not even know what's happening. How many of us want to be able to get to that realm where you are so immersed? There is this project you'll be wanting to carry out, or there is this life you want to build. There's a certain habit you want to have, you want to own, and you're like, how do I even get to this level? But you have not been able to understand how to step into flow, all right, as it has to do with it. So you are always up and down, you're not consistent. Today you are there, tomorrow you are in another place. There has been no consistency on the path of intentionality. So you find it very difficult to stay committed. You receive motivations as much as possible. Once motivation fizzles out, you're nowhere to be found. So if there's something you've been wanting to do, there's a habit you've been wanting to build, if you have not been able to experience flow, it's going to be a struggle. Now, there's so much enjoyment that comes with enjoyment, mental absorption, all right, spiritual absorption, physical absorption. There is this wholeness that comes with it. That in whatever situation you are in as much as you remember that enjoyment, that experience you had, you always want to go back. Do you get it? You always want to go back. There's a Greek word for it. It is called autotelicity. All right? Autotelicity. Autotelicity. Am I correct? Autotelicity. All right, let me tell us the way it is. I have it here. Okay, autotelicity, right? It's a word autotelic. Somebody should type it in the room. Autotelic. Autotelic. Autotelic experience. Okay, that's a way to describe it psychologically. Autotelic experience. It is such a fascinating concept. Whenever somebody experiences an autotelic experience, it's a Greek word, it's from the Greek root. The author there, as you all know, means self, all right? And then the telos means your goal or your purpose. Do you understand? So when we talk about autotelicity, we are saying that you are being able to go through an experience that in itself, it is rewarding, it is satisfying. Yes, that's it. That's the word, Edward. Let me put that on the screen. That's the word, right? Autotelic. All right? It is such a fascinating experience. You cannot explain it to somebody. Like you're so immersed. You know, as a visionary, whenever I talk about the need for you to understand your vision and your purpose, I'm saying it is time for you to come up higher into the realm of authenticity, where you can begin to live life and enjoy yourself in the process at the end of the day. Like you are not carried away, irrespective of what happened. You are not carried away, right? You so much go through that process. Somebody will be looking at you and be feeling sorry for you and be like, isn't this so difficult? And you'll be like, no. Someone will look at my bookshelf or they'll come to my house. It is deliberate because it always stirs up conversations. So you come to my house, instead of you to see a TV, you see a bookshelf in the sitting room. And then you're like, oh my God, what's going on here? Right? It is deliberate. It is deliberate. And then you see this person um, who is always coming around. And after a while, I've had these experiences again and again. After a while, you're like, oh, ma'am, oh, sir, can I get a book to read? Can I get a book to read? It is not because the person is a reader. It is because they have placed the person in an immersive experience that each time they come around, this is what they see. A woman came to the house the other time with her 4 kids, and they were fascinated. The children were just looking, what's going on there? We are supposed to see a big TV in the house, but why are we seeing books all over? And then before I knew it, I was watching the children. Before I knew it, they came to the bookshelf, they started touching the books, and the mother was like, leave that place. I'm like, no, they shouldn't. Let them have the experience. I have decided to immerse myself in this level of flow so that I can be what? Consistent. We're going to talk about all the different elements of it. Okay? But I just want to relate it back to our daily experiences, our daily encounters, so that we can understand how it works. Okay? There are so many compartments of flow, but I want you to know that it is that zone where effort feels effortless and growth is natural. Like I said before, you look at the next person and like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. What are you doing? Why are you like this? Like for some of you on the path of personal development, I always have these conversations with you. Somebody will look at you and be like, mm-hmm, what's your problem, madam? At this your age, you're reading books. What's your problem, man? Right? Are they going to, in fact, even as a student, people would often ask me those questions. Why are you reading? What's the essence of reading books? Do you get it? People often ask me those questions. It may look silly, but it's the question in their heart. Why are you reading them? And then somebody looks at you and it's like, it is so difficult. It is such a difficult thing. How do you even keep up? Do you see that? So it is that zone where effort is effortless. Somebody will come and tell you, I pray 10 hours in a day. And you'll be like, Abba, are you that jobless? How many of you understand what I'm saying? Are you that jobless? Are you that jobless? How do you pray 10 hours in a day? Do you see that? How do you pray 10 hours in a day? Somebody comes and say, oh, I've been writing for the past 5 hours. Or I've been reading. Whatever it is that you do, when you do it, you immerse yourself. Let me even ask us, have you been able to identify just one thing that you do? And then when you do that thing, you are lost in the zone. You are lost in the zone. Like you're not thinking of nothing. Your problems are all the way away. And these problems that you think about every day, you no longer think about them. And then each time you say, oh, I don't just want to come out of this zone. People that are alcoholics, all right, drug addicts, they experience flow at that level, at their level, right? Is a heightened state of pleasure, heightened state of connection to self and to purpose, to God, to alignment is a heightened state. All right. So most times when they take those drugs or whatever, they'll be like, "Oh my God, when I take this thing, I'm always on the high side." And you often wonder, "I don't understand." You cannot understand because you're not there. All right. But the reason we are teaching this is so that you can begin to redirect that energy for positive flow, for positivity. Do you get it? So that you can begin to redirect the energy. All right. There is this man I always talk about. It's one of the foremost founder of the flow psychology. His name is Miha Csikszentmihalyi. Miha Csikszentmihalyi is a very long name, right? Miha Csikszentmihalyi is the psychologist who pioneered it. All right, it has a lot to say about flow. There's also this concept of optimal experience, optimal performance by Stephen Kotler, right? Stephen Kotler, someone kind of also related to flow, right? The concepts are similar. And then there is also this man that wrote something about synchronicity. Let me see if I can check out his name. All right, the flow, living in flow. That's the title of the book, living in flow, and the concept is really centered around synchronization. How you can become one with life. Do you understand? How you can become one with purpose. So you stop struggling. So Coach Faith can stop saying, "Oh, you've got to be consistent," and he keeps saying, "When will I ever become consistent in my life?" When will I ever become consistent? Okay, so the title of the book is Living in Flow. All right, there was a time I shared some thoughts from it in the Motivation Monday. Then when we used to do book Motivation Mondays. All right, Living in Flow is the title by Sky Nelson Isaacs. Sky Nelson Isaacs, The Science of Synchronicity. Yeah. So you see that it is at the realm of flow you also experience synchronicity. Okay? Yes. Somebody says, "Yes, I've identified that anytime I'm writing. I used to forget." Oh, okay, great, great. I think somebody here have experienced it. That's Muhammad. So the goal is experiencing it is not just enough, but have you been able to explain your experience? Because a strategy that you're utilizing that you cannot explain cannot rub off on other areas of your life. So you've got to be ready and able to express that experience so that it can in turn rub off on other area of your life. Do you understand? So it becomes an experience, it becomes a lifestyle, and then you understand how to always get in the zone. All right? How to always get in the zone, and then when you want to snap out of the zone, how to also come out of the zone. So this goes even beyond habit building. It is of necessity so that you can begin to live your life from the place of deep immersion. Do you see that? Deep immersion. So Miha Csikszentmihalyi is the psychologist who pioneered the study of flow. All right? It's a state where you are fully absorbed in an activity. You are fully absorbed. That is even the state where you experience peak performance. Peak performance. The moment I learned how to read so well, how to get in the zone while I am reading, I became extraordinary. I became unstoppable. I was always stopping my class. Like I would stop the class and I would give them so much gap behind, right? Because I understood how to step into the zone at that level and it was working for me. So some people, they cook and when they're in the kitchen, they step into step. All right. So, what is flow? It's a state of complete absorption in an activity. Just write it in your notes that way. You can get other definitions, but they are also still tied to this very definition. It's a point of complete absorption where you are fully absorbed. Because when we continue to have conversations around consistency, well, you've got to be consistent. Oh, consistency is key to growth and alignment. Yes, but consistency is beautiful when you understand that it is really about flow. It's about presence. It's about how you are able to connect your life together. All right? If you understand, type I understand. So flow is a state of complete what? Absorption in an activity where you lose awareness of time, your actions and thoughts are merging, where your actions and thoughts are merged together. and then you begin to feel alive. This is when you come alive, right? You come alive at this level. There are certain things you do. When you do them, you come alive. Even if you are distracted, right? Just give it a try. Like you are always distracted with certain activities. I know that one of the major activities that somehow distract us in this generation is scrolling, endless scrolling, right? Endless scrolling. We are constantly scrolling on the internet, right? That is one major one. Alright, there are other ones that can keep us stuck. They are sabotages. But the moment you realize what gets you in the state of flow, you can start your day with that. All right, you can start your day with that, and also see how you can begin to weave your goals around it. Do you understand? Once you are able to do that, it is going to bring your energy up higher. It's going to set you on fire on a daily basis. It doesn't matter whether you're doing it for 5 minutes, whether you're doing it for 10 minutes. All right, sometimes you can get lost in the zone, right? But you have to understand that flow is that thing that keeps you, that makes you feel alive. Okay, you feel alive. It is something that in itself it is rewarding to you, whether you are being paid or not. And that was why I spoke about the concept of autotelicism, whether you are being paid or not. Okay, that is it. Somebody be like, oh my God, I just love to do this. People used to ask me, this reading that you are reading, are they paying you? Like, will you put food on your table? Will you give you money? Yes, but it's okay that as you continue your life, your skills, your expertise, you can also learn how to market it, how to exchange it in the marketplace for valuable resources that can also propel you forward. Beautiful. You can also find a way to build legacies with it, and also begin to use it as a tool to impact the lives of people. That's fine. That's understandable. That is at another level. All right, it's okay. But one thing you have to be sure about is that you have to come to terms with what it is that gets you on fire, that sets you on fire. Someone says that enthusiasm shouldn't be bought, will not be bought in the market, or cannot be bought in the market. You cannot buy enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is divine. If you go to the root word of enthusiasm, it is divine. All right. Assuming I can check it out. I'm trying to see if it is divine, right? I'm really hoping I will be sharing my slides soon so you can see my screen. Okay, it is divine. I'm trying to check out the word for it, according to the exact word for it, for enthusiasm. But it is divine. It is not something that you buy in the market. Yes, it is infused. Infused. Yeah, infused. Right? Um, it says in ancient Greece, you can check that on Google, or if you have ChatGPT. It says in ancient Greece, when someone was said to have enthusiasm, it meant they were filled with divine energy or inspiration, as if a god was walking through them. Can somebody just check that out, possibly tap it in the comment section? This is so good, right? It feels, um, if you, the full word, the full translation, enthusiasmos. Yeah, enthusiasmos. It says the first time I came across it, I was like, oh my God. I even did a video on it. I'm like, oh my God, do you mean enthusiasm is divine? Right? Like the energy to step up and do the work is divine. That's why somebody like Beyonce, for example, would want to sing, would be interviewed, and then you'll be like, oh, I don't know how it does happen, but I know that something's gonna take over me. Something's gonna take over me. Yeah, we're talking about that divine energy that comes to life in you when you are so engrossed in that environment, right? It's as if nothing else is happening. That is how you become unstoppable. That's how you get results. So now let's relate it back to personal development. Like if you have been struggling to keep up with your personal growth, my goal is to see that as you go through the experience of personal growth, that you are not just living at the level of, let me just read a book, right? You're not just living at the level of, oh, let me get a course. That you can understand that this is what sets me on fire. And as you understand how it sets you on fire, you can truly begin to harness your growth journey. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you are fully begin to harness it. Like it's no longer a struggle of I do it today, tomorrow I'm not doing it. Or because I'm busy, or because of my job. or because of the things that I do. How many of us understand what I'm saying right now? If you understand that, I understand. Why? Because of my job, because of what I do. Because the truth is, you have a purpose to fulfill. You have an assignment on the planet. This world is a stage. I remember as a younger in primary school, I remember the debates that my teacher gave me many years ago. This world is a stage. Some are coming to the stage while others are leaving the stage. To live well in this world, and all the different aspects of it. Let me not go further. Right? I'll never forget that debate. That poem that I recited many years ago. Right? That the world is a stage. It's a platform because you have an assignment, you have a purpose. And if you are not able to live up to the fullness of it, you are not going to be happy. Because one best way to get into flow is to be able to walk on the path of purpose continuously. Purpose is your assignment, is who you are, right? It's how you serve the world with your giftings. That's purpose, all right? But for you to be able to serve the world with your gifts, with your God given gifts, it simply means that you have to fine tune that gift. You have to make it so good and beautiful and powerful and feed with divine energy, like we said, enthusiasm, feed with so much light that somebody can see you, talk with you, have interactions with you, and you become so magnetic. But that is going to only happen when you are truly able to refine you. And that refinement process is personal development. Personal development is not like I start today, after 2 months I stop, and then I come back later. No, you must find a way to be plugged in. It is not something you can do all by yourself. You need a coach, you need a community, you need access to mentors who have gone ahead of you, who will show you the patterns. Because there will be seasons that this divine energy will not be there all the time. It is always there, but when you don't recognize it, how many of you are understanding what I'm saying right now? When you don't understand this enthusiasm, this entheos experience, all right, that comes with just being fully immersed. Okay, the kind of inspiration, the kind of divine energy that comes with that. Okay, when you are not in there, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a challenge. So you start today, you are like this car that they will just try to push across the road, and then after a while, you go back to your cocoon, you go back to your place, you go back to your position, all right, and you're not able to move to the next level. Are you getting the gist? So let's talk about the 8 characteristics of flow. According to Mia Csikszentmihalyi and some other great researchers, there are several characteristics of it, but I will need us to go through them one after the other. As time will permit us, okay, we see how much time. As time will permit us, and then we'll be able to get into the flow state. How many of you are ready for flow? Type flow, 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 flow. How many of you are ready for flow? Are you ready, ready, ready? Let's go on, guys. All right, I'm enjoying myself. How many of you are dazed about the root word of enthusiasm, and that it actually means divine energy? It's God on your inside coming alive. That's enthusiasm. So if you have a project, you have a life to live, and then you're just like, anyhow comes, all right. In regular palace in Nigeria, we say anywhere the left face. How many of you have heard that before? Anywhere the left face. In other words, your belly is your belly. You know what your belly is, right? Okay. Anywhere it is facing. So there's a way we just relate that to say that this person is just anyhow. This person is not ready to be put together. So this person is not motivated. Have you seen people that they are around you, you are just like, oh my God, not again, not again, because their energy is always down. So the divine energy, the divine force is not really coming alive in them. All right? It's not coming alive. Yes, I see that comfort. Flow, flow. Let's start flowing the room. Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper. I'm hoping we can really go far today. So the first element of flow. Now, like I said before, Muhammad shared an experience with writing. Each time Mohammed comments on my LinkedIn post, I'm always like, come on, guy, you should rewrite this post. Because if we just, in fact, the comment will be longer than my post itself. So I can really relate to when he said, um, you get into the zone when you write. Maybe my evening will be like when I do some of my craft work, I get into the zone. I don't know how deep that is for you, how far you've been able to experience it, but it could also be your experience. So now in getting into flow, the first thing you have to understand is that you must be ready to set clear goals. Okay? You must be ready to set clear goals. It's a non-negotiable. On a daily basis, do you set intentions? Do you set your goals? Do you tell yourself, this is what I want to do? This is how I want to move forward? This is how I want to advance? Do you do that? It's very important for you to set clear goals. Super, super important. All right? Don't have too many goals at the same time, numerous goals at the same time. Don't. In fact, when you carry out an analysis with the wheel of life sort of model, there's several models, all right? For for those of us that are coaches, we have the grow model, we have the smart methodology, and so many of them. But for wheel of life, we always say ensure that your goals are not more than 3 to 5, because your consciousness at best cannot take more than 7 items at a time. That is even when it's been overwhelmed. All right. The best you should do is just 3 to 5. Okay, let's say you set 3 goals, right? But then you can even go deeper. There's also the concept called the WIG model, WIG, the WIG model that says your goal has to be widely important. The widely important goals, the widely important goals. It has to be so important. In fact, not until the 1900s there was no word as priorities. It was just priority, like a single element. A single element. This is what I'm looking forward to. Why did I set up this class right now? I want to teach those of you who are really interested in growth so that you understand how to stay on the path of flow with divine energy like enthusiasm, right? With strength of character, and really stay committed so you don't start today and tomorrow you stop. The reason is because you have a purpose, you have an assignment, and the continuous refinement of your gift is how you serve it to the world. If your gift is not well refined with knowledge, how do you serve it to the world? So personal development is a non-negotiable, right? Just like if you get gold in its raw form, the truth is the truth is you are not going to be able to appreciate it. You're not going to appreciate it until it is refined. Same with us as humans. For your gift to serve the world is such a great depth, all right, of accuracy, of dexterity, you've got to be ready to understand how to navigate it with training, with personal development. Do you see that? So clear goals are necessary. You must be ready to set goals. How many of you know how to set great goals here? Like you know how to set goals. If you are good at it, type yes. I don't mean just writing down your wishes and the things you think about or your aspirations, your desires. I'm talking about your goals. You know, goals has to do with structures, right? Desires and aspirations or possible intentions are usually vague in our mind, in our spirit, okay? In our mind and our spirit. Somebody is saying, can't you send us this? I should send you books? I don't do that, please. I don't do that. If you're subscribed to the Really Leaders Live, we could do 1 or 2 based on recommendations, but we don't. But you can get the title so you can go get them, okay? So you can go get the book. Do you get it? You can go get them on Amazon or any other books as well. Hear me? Hold on, please. Okay? So you've got to be ready to set clear goals. Do you understand that? Set clear goals so that you will be focused. You'll be focused. I'm really looking at as many as possible that will say to me, Coach, this is what I want to achieve in the next couple of days, the next couple of months, and I'm going for it. I'm not looking back. How many of us are ready to be dogged? Are ready to move with enthusiasm? How many of us are ready to move with enthusiasm? Like you're ready, you're like, oh my God, I'm not looking back. I'm all in. This is my life. Yes, that is it. First of all, to get into flow, you must choose a singular focus. J. Patterson wrote a book titled The One Thing. Okay? The One Thing, J. Patterson. It has a co-author, right? Titled The One Thing. Just one goal. The best way to get into flow is one goal. As a personal development coach, I have told myself, oh, I'm going to coach, I'm going to mentor people, I'm going to do. It's a goal. I could as well, somebody sent me a message today. I was like, okay, How many of you are following our Facebook page, the Leaders platform, right? We get people from different countries all the time. I think this person sent a message from Singapore, right? Singapore. I was like, okay, I love what you do. Please, I need knowledge on investing. No, not Singapore, Bangladesh. Yeah, the person that sent a message from Singapore wasn't asking for this. But the person from Bangladesh was like, oh, I need knowledge on investment. I'm like, I'm not an investment coach. I don't teach on finance skills. Okay, the person was like, where should I start from? I had to redirect them on where to start. Do you see that? So you've got to be ready to set your clear goals. I would have said, oh, let me just teach you because I've done it maybe in a way or two for myself. But I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to claim that. All right. So you've got to be ready to set clear goals so that you can run with it. Okay. Whatever you set your mind to do, if you put your mind to it long enough, right, you are going to get the best result out of it. Clear goals are important. All right. I see most of us are not setting goals here. Come on now. Okay, so what we'll do is in December, usually I do programs on goal setting, but I'm looking at us in a way, possibly we'll do it as a reading program this time, and we read some books, we set our goals. That's we see how we can run with that. Okay, we see how we can run with that. So let's continue. We're going to set clear goals, and then we're going to also learn how to look out for immediate feedback. I talk about feedback all the time. I've shown it again and again in this community that there are three major forms of feedback. We have the coaching feedback. We have which other one? If you've been with us, write them down. Hope you're with your notes. Coaching feedback. We have evaluation feedback, and then we have appreciation feedback. Maybe we should even get an acronym for that. Coaching, appreciation, evaluation. ACE. Let's call it ACE for feedback as a model, okay? As a model for feedback. These are called acronyms, right? It's ACE. Somebody should type it in the room. ACE, appreciation, coaching, and evaluation feedback. Not in this order, but to say that one is also very much important than the other, but we do need all of them. We do need all of them. Many a times there are levels we are in, we need a lot of validations, maybe from our parents, from our loved ones, and of course they have to appreciate us based on our abilities. All right. I didn't say association. I said evaluation. Evaluation. Let me go to YouTube from this device and type it myself. Is it that you guys cannot hear me clearly? Can't you hear me clearly? Somebody there. Evaluation. Coaching, and appreciation. Did you see that? That's the ACE methodology or the ACE model. ACE. Did you see that? Okay. Evaluation, coaching, and appreciation feedback. And appreciation feedback. Okay. Did you see that? Okay. Okay, so these are the three forms of feedback that we can begin to put together, right, to ensure that we're able to sort of stay in the place of flow. Now, when I started off teaching online, I remember in those days, like just like I have several devices right now, several devices. I'm using one to teach. I'm live with my phone as well, right? And then I will put these phones together. In those days, I will have one for music, right? Music, gospel music, because I'm a Christian, all right? I'm a believer. I will put one here, music, then another one for the voice note, like I'm going to teach, and then I'll be playing the music and I'll be teaching. Okay, I used to do it like that, and I'll send it as a broadcast message to my list. WhatsApp them, I'll send it to my list. I had seen a brother who was doing it quite well, absolutely well, and I loved it. I'm like, oh my God, I can do this as well because I'm also a teacher. So I will do it and I will send across. And then I remember the very first day I started, the next day we were going to church, and a friend of mine was like, oh my God, Faith, that thing you did, this and that, blah, blah, blah. She gave me her feedback, and that's those feedback. The feedback was Basbos, and I understand. She's my best friend, so I could really relate with what she was saying, that she was genuine, and I love it. That's what we call evaluation feedback. Somebody that will not look at your face and say, "Oh, she's going to feel bad." Do you understand? She's going to feel bad if I say it to her. She just gave it to me the way it is, and I respected that. I'm like, oh my god, okay, where should I work on? Alright, you can also get an evaluation feedback from your mentor, your coach, a leader that you believe in, or possibly on their circle, and you are working together with them. So they can give you an evaluation feedback. Do you get that? So appreciation feedback is whether you do well or you don't do well. Be like, oh my god, well done, I said it. If you're in a circle where they always appreciate you all the time, they never get to give you the kind of feedback that encourages um, some kind of alignment. Trust me, you're going to lose flow. Yeah, you're going to lose flow. You're not going to be steady. You're not going to be committed. A lot of things will begin to happen at that level. I'm telling you, a lot of things will begin to happen at that level. You're not going to be able to stay committed because flow is really a state of absorption, a state of complete absorption. So if you're in a place where they always say, well done, you did well, oh my God, they always appreciate you, they never get to evaluate, all right? And I know they may not be able to give you that kind of coaching feedback because a coach feedback is quite different, all right? The person has to be skilled with some of the strategies for coaching to be able to do that, all right? But then if you don't get it consistently like that, then you get to a level, you will not even know whether you are growing or not. You will not know. Yes, you so normalize your foolishness, your challenges that you like. Oh, I'm a boss, and you just be carrying yourself with so much pride, but then there's not so much on the inside. There's no substance. Do you see that? So that kind of feedback that sort of create that balance is very important. It's very important. Our parents are powerful at that. Like they know how to create the balance with feedback. And that's why you have two. You have two parents. Alright? You have a mother and you have a father. So if your father is the type that's always appreciating, never sees anything wrong, and then the mother comes and is like back to back. Back to back. You see, the balance will be there. The child will have a balanced life. To say, oh, there is this balance. And if the parents are also able to cooperate, not that they are doing it in isolation. Otherwise, the child would appreciate more of the person that is always pampering, appreciating all the time without evaluating. And then when they now grow older, it is then they will know that the person that was always pampering was not doing them the best, was not giving them the best. Like the balance is supposed to be there. I mean, I've heard of the story of this man from Nigeria. All right, his name is Amini. I don't know how many of you heard of his story. He was a notorious armed robber in Nigeria, in Benin. Then, all right. For those of you that understand the different tribe in Benin, in Nigeria, he was from Benin, Edo State to be precise. He was a notorious criminal. The mother pampered him so much. Do you know that when he was finally apprehended, immediately, in fact, he was going to be killed, he was going to be, he was going to die, he already knew and all of that. And then he asked for a request. Please, I'd like to talk to my mom. I mean, I've first heard the story. If you did, say I did. I'd like to talk to my mom. And then he beat the mom's ear, beat it off. That if the mom had scolded him, he wouldn't have been a criminal. But the mom was always pampering. So you see that kind of balance. It's not the set of life. If you work with a boss who is constantly appreciating, doesn't evaluate, or is constantly giving that back to evaluation without appreciation, you see the balance will not be there. That's why you now begin to like, oh my god, I don't like my job anymore. I'm tired because flow has left that environment. Because flow requires balance, a bit of toughness and a bit of softness. So so you can balance yourself, so you can be in the zone. All right. Let's also take for example, you want to play a Ludo game. You want to play a Ludo game and you know how to play very well. Are you going to play with a 5-year-old? If you play with a 5-year-old, you are not going to experience flow. It's going to be boring, right? But if you play with someone who is overly an expert, maybe they've won world championship several times, you are not also going to be balanced. You're not also going to be balanced because this person is way too good. You cannot even compete. You cannot contest. You cannot work with them. All right. This person is way too good. Do you see that? So it's going to be a problem for you to really align. It's going to be a problem for. Please give me a minute. it's going to be a problem for you to really align because that balance will not be there. Do you understand? So that balance has to be there for flow to happen. That balance has to be there for flow to happen. A lot of people struggle to keep up with their personal development because there is no flow. So it's almost like there is nothing engaging your personal growth journey. Come on now, we are getting there. We are getting there, leaders. Tap that in the room, we are getting there. So there's nothing to sort of create the sense of balance. So you would often think that personal development is about, oh, let me keep reading so many books, or let me keep doing this, going to classes, watching YouTube videos, listening to motivational speeches, and then at the end of the day, I get back to say, no, this is a personal development masterclass, and I have to tell you the way it is, right? There has to be the balance, and it is that balance that engages a man. And that's why we never teach you my personal development framework, all right, without leading you back to the place of commitment to work. All right. So at the end of the day, you are experiencing a touch of learning, of immersion, of that sort of fascination that comes with novelties, interacting with new knowledge all the time. And then now you also have access to implementation, like in the field. You're not just learning, and then you don't have an opportunity to express it. Do you see that? So a lot of times the reason people don't experience flow on their path of growth is because they don't have a pathway for expression. They do not have an outlet for expression. So you will not hear me talk about personal development and it's all about reception without doing. There has to be receptivity and there has to be a purpose project. Of course, we all have a channel, we all have an assignment. All right. I started by saying that nobody should deceive and say, oh, purpose is one vague stuff. It's not vague. Purpose is how when you're able to use the giftings that God has given to you to serve humanity, to serve the world, to make your communities, to make the life of the next person better. I'm teaching you right now, this is purpose for me, like because I'm teaching you to get better. It means that I'm using my ability to read, to learn, to build capacity, to stand out, to do whatever, to teach you. Because I've been doing this for some time and I've also built mastery. So it means that the more I build mastery, the more I develop myself, the more I'm also able to serve you at a higher level of my assignment. Do you see that? So it means that my assignment is going to keep getting higher and higher. Because when you complete one, you're going to go to another. Oyedipo once says that the reward for hard work is more work. I like to type that in the comment. The reward for hard work is more work. So the moment you are able to complete an assignment, what happens? You get another one. You get a better one. Because you are good. You are good with what you are doing. You are getting better. The only time you will not grow, someone may see it as stress, but it's actually not stress because the higher you go, the more you engage yourself at the level of optimal absorption. And it's at that level you are able to connect to purpose on a deeper level. It's at that level you are able to serve more. It's at that level you are able to experience God. You are able to experience fulfillment and bliss. Do you see that? So the overall essence of flow at the end of the day is that you can experience fulfillment in life. That everything you do, you are not doing them because you want to gain certain favors, but you are doing them because you know there is a reward that comes with progress. There's a reward that comes with being in the season that you're supposed to be in. Because a lot of people do not understand how to experience seasons. They don't understand how to experience progress and how to stay till they nurture themselves into fulfillment, into that height, that optimal height, where they become an inspiration, where their enthusiasm becomes very much contagious. Do you see that? Like they don't stay to nurture it. They're constantly jumping from pillar to post. Do you see that? They don't stay to nurture it. They don't stay to really get the best. Most of the people that have actually experienced real growth in my space, I will say this to you the way it is, are people who have stayed with me for a minimum 1 year, 2 years. I'm telling you, people have stayed with me with for this length of time because there is a continuous flow of the grace of the anointing that comes from where I am right now, right? Based on the giftings that I have. And it gets to rub off on you, right? It rubs off on you. It is not about going and coming. Then you come today, tomorrow you disappear. That growth is not going to align. It's not going to flow so well. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you've got to be ready to stay committed on the path of growth. So you have to understand that flow is really about how well you are able to step into the realm of your presence. Because you are a human being. People want to experience it. Currently, you are experiencing it. This is my presence. This man wrote a book, a Catholic. A Catholic wrote a book. I think it's The Power of Now, something like that. The Power of Now. That book, if you go deeper, you understand that it also has a lot to share about the concept of flow. Because now is really about presence. You are in this class right now. Are you fully here? Presence. Do you understand? It's about presence. So flow is not just about productivity, even though productivity is an element of flow, because when you are in the zone, you get better results. You get to create more. You become more curious to want to ascend the ladder of growth and transformation. You are able to remain creative on the path of transformation. You are able to remain creative. Do you see that? So beyond just productivity, flow is really about getting into your journey on a deeper level, becoming one with your journey, becoming one with purpose. Do you see that? It's that intersection between who you are and what you were created to do. That's flow. So it's the intersection between who you are. So let me ask you, Adetore, comfort. Who are you? This has to do with the question of identity. We're not talking about identity today, right? But it has to do with identity. Who are you before you were born into this world? Who are you right now? Right? That's the question of identity. What do you have the capacity to do? What were you created to do? In your wiring, in your connections, all right? What were you created to do? So that intersection where purpose meets with identity is where flow comes in. So it's like the summation. Because a lot of times people understand who they are, but they don't know what they're supposed to be doing. So they are fragmented. Okay? They are fragmented. Do you understand? There's a degree of disorderliness in their system, and that's what they call entropy. Am I correct with that word? Entropy. Let me see. Is it entropy or entropy? Let me see. What is entropy? Entropy. So, this, for those of you that are physics students, do you know what I'm saying? Or, I mean, those of you that are not physics students, you know what I'm saying? I think it's entropy that's the word. Okay? I think it's entropy. Am I correct? Aha, I'm correct. In physics, entropy measures the degree of disorderliness or randomness in a system. Do you see that? It measures it, the degree of disorderliness in a system. Do you see that? Do you see that? So that is entropy. If you want to let me spell it for you so that you can go do your research on it. Entropy is the degree of disorderliness in a system. You see why I have four devices here. Oh my God, we are serious with this teaching, though. God will help us. I hope you are learning something tonight. You have to be equipped to do the work of purpose. Alright, so entropy, ENTH. Sorry, there's no H there. There is no H. Let me spell it again. Entropy. Are there science students here? Are you a science student? Let me know. Then the sciences. Type science. Some of you have forgotten what you learned in physics. Okay, entropy measures the degree of disorderliness or randomness in a system. Entropy. So you see, at that level where purpose connects with identity is where flow comes in. So if you miss it there, you are going to be disengaged. So disengagement is the opposite of flow. You're going to be disengaged, and that's why you'll be like, oh my God, I don't think I can do this job anymore. Oh my God, I don't think, what is even my purpose? People have asked me severally, what's my purpose? I'm like, I don't know. How do you expect me to know your purpose? So most often I engage them in a clarity call. We have long conversations. and then we're able to unravel certain patterns that can also help them to begin to position themselves. Do you get it? Are you getting it, guys? Are you there? Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Okay? So entropy measures the degree of disorderliness in the system. So when there is no alignment between identity and purpose, then there is a disengagement. And that's the people who define themselves by their titles. Oh, I'm Dr. This. Oh, I'm Barrister that. Oh, I'm this. This is not to throw shades on anybody, but I'm just saying, if you're the type who is always defining yourself based on your externalities, whenever I talk about identity, I talk about the different layers of it. I have three core areas. There is the external, there is the in between, and there is the core layer. Alright, the core layer has to do with your God personality. Alright, because God created you. I don't know if there's somebody here who say I came from apes or something. So I know you are not in my class. Right? You were created by God. Do you see that? So that is your identity. That's where it came from. But then there are other forms of identity that we also get to embody. Maybe you are a teacher, you are a coach, you are a mother, you are a father. Those are identities that we take on. And there's the identity that has to do with your personality traits. Okay, the way you talk, the way you speak, the way you look at people, the way you eat, the way you know, those kind of stuff. Those are the mid layers. All of them have their purposes. All of them can serve at different levels. But then if you define your totality with your external identity of the job that you do, it's going to be a problem because once the job is over, remember, the work that you do, which has to do with your purpose, the work that you do will no longer connect. And that's when people begin to feel somehow. You see somebody who have worked for over 20, 30 years, they come back later in life and they're like, you'll be like, I used to know this brother, I used to know this uncle. This uncle used to be so on fire. What happened to them? You can't explain their situation. It's a situationship. You cannot explain it because they've had relationships with life in a way that was not coordinated. So they thought they were doing something that was in alignment to who they were. But now that identity has been taken up. Possibly they lost the job, or maybe they lost the relationship, they lost whatever. So now it's no longer aligning with their work. So there is a fragmentation. All right, there is a fragmentation in their system. So entropy is what we will use to measure that. You see that? Because it is the degree of disorderliness or randomness in a system. If you want to measure that degree of disorderliness that has happened in their life, we just relate it back to flow and say, oh my God, there is no flow here. So if we want to go deeper, we now begin to analyze, we now begin to say, okay, what really happened? Why is there no flow? And all this kind of stuff. Do you get it? So the meeting, the tangent between who you are and what you are created to do is flow. And that's where you bring your full presence to life. Okay? Um, what's the name of this author? Brendan Burchard. Brendan Burchard is the author of High Performance. He's also the author of Motivation Manifesto. And in Motivation Manifesto, he spoke about the need, the need for us to be able to advance in life with abandon. With abandon. Advancing with abandon is one of the manifestos he listed. Advancing with abandon. When you let go of FOMO, when you let go of what people will say, fear of other people's opinion, FOMO, you let go of the fear of success, because some people are also afraid of success. Okay, it's not some people are afraid of what other people will say. Some are afraid of success. Okay, if I make it big now, I'm going to become this leader. People are going to be dependent on me. You may not even know it in your consciousness, but deep within, possibly because of the things you've interacted with in life, it's really a challenge. It's really affected you in a lot of ways. Do you see that? So flow isn't about just becoming more productive, but then productivity will happen. Remember, when you're in that state of heightened performance, you are going to experience something great. So we have spoken about feedback, which is quite important. We've spoken about clear goals, some of the characteristics of flow. Now let's talk about the balance between challenge and skills. Right? I spoke about it briefly, but let's go deeper. When I was talking about the project you embark on, the work that you do, if it doesn't stretch you, even the environment where you see yourself, if they don't stretch you, you are going to be overwhelmed and you're not going to experience flow. All right. I always encourage people, don't be scared to exit. If you're in an environment where you are not experiencing flow, all right, you could ask yourself, what's happening? Is that I don't have a single goal? Is that I'm not accepting feedback? Because some people don't know how to accept feedback. Now, also look at yourself from this end. The challenge I'm having on the skill in my life, am I really being stretched? Let me give you an example of of someone, an American tourist in a Nepal. I'm trying to learn how to pronounce the city. It's a city in Italy. It is spelled as Napple. All right, it's a tale, it's a story, a real story. So this American tourist, U.S. tourist, was moving around, just experiencing life, and then he entered this very shop on a particular day, the shop of a Naples, Naples, right? And Naples is a small city in Italy, right? So he entered this shop. I wanted to buy a sculpture that I saw that was so fascinating. I wanted to buy it. And on getting there, he loved this sculpture so much. And then he asked the Nepals, how much do you sell this sculpture? And then the Nepals was like, oh, this sculpture is sold for so and so amount. All right. And then the US tourist person didn't even bargain. And the next one was like, okay, no problem, we're going to pay. How do I make payment? Let's get on board. And then the Nepals was like, oh my God, I'm not selling anymore. I am not selling anymore. But what happened? Why did you change your mind? Why don't you want to sell anymore? The reason I don't want to sell anymore is because you didn't bargain. You just expected me to give it to you like that. What gives me joy in this business that I do is the back and forth, all right, that I do engage on whenever a customer walks into my shop. That back and forth negotiation here and there, it has a way of engaging my mind. It has a way of placing me at a higher level, and I'm also able to. Each time that happens, I'm also able to learn about sales strategies, right? I'm like, who does that? When I saw this story, all right, I'm like, who does that? What happens? Like, why would you even say a thing like that? Like, you love the back and forth negotiation kind of a thing. Now, the Nepals wasn't far from the truth because there's several things that engages us. And once we're engaged, sometimes we keep going back to those things without even knowing that this is the reason we are going back. Do you see that? Without even knowing that this is the reason we're going back. And then the American tourist was like, oh my God, so I've lost this right now. They're like, yeah, you've lost it. I'm not going to sell it to you anymore. Right? I love someone to engage with me. I love my customers to engage with me at that level of negotiation. You see? That is the relationship between challenge and skill. This person want to build more of their sales skills, and then he or she loves the challenge of the back and forth that normally occur between him or her and the customer or the client. You see? So, what we are saying in a nutshell is there has to be a balance. So, on your personal development journey, if there is no balance between challenge and the skill that you are trying to build per time, it's not going to be sustainable. It is not. And that's why you must deliberately place yourself in a situation where you are so immersed in a coaching environment, the environment of evaluation, continuous evaluation, appreciation. All of those three has to be in sync. All right, they have to be in sync for you to be in love with the process, for you to be in love with the process, just like the Nepal story and the US tourist. You've got to be in the zone where this becomes the life. That's how you stay committed. All right, some of you are going to send me a DM. I'm like, Kuchi, how do I get into this zone deeply? And I'm going to have those conversations with you, right? As much as I will have the time to. But you have to be willing to engage. It's it's a battle between challenge and skills. All right, the battle between what challenge and skill. You've got to be ready to create that balance on your journey of growth. You've got to be ready to immerse yourself in environments, in situations that will stir you up to build that level of enthusiasm that is required to stay sustainable on the path of growth. Okay, for those of you that are with me, you understand what a feels means already. So in our subsequent sessions, when we're having these conversations and I mentioned some things, they'll be like, yeah, coach, we got you, right? You know that Coach Faith is not just trying to speak certain words, but that she has laid the foundation. And that's why whenever people reach, oh my, I think somebody was asking me a question today about certain subject, I have to refer them back to our previous videos. Go watch them, okay? Because it will not be easy. If you are not consistent on this journey with us, it may not be easy for you to sort of align with the conversation, for you to be in the state of flow. Flow is required, even though. How many of you understand what I'm saying? If you understand, say, Coach Faith, I understand. I got you. I got you, Coach Faith. Yes, this is flow for us. We are in flow. We are in flow. Before I continue, guys, we still have about 4 to talk about, all right? About 5. We've spoken about clear goals, characteristics of flow, clear goals, immediate feedback, balance between challenge and skill. Let's talk about the Real Leaders Book Club community. We've launched again our membership. We don't know if I'm going to go. Maybe the next 6 months, maybe the next 1 year. Yeah, I'm going to revisit it every 3 to 6 months and see if we can sustain it. But then for now, we're trying as much as possible to get you into the state of flow as it has to do with your reading life. All right? Whether you're in my coaching program, one-on-one coaching, whatever coaching level you are in, I will encourage you to get into the reading program. It's very affordable, $3 per month. And register your friends, encourage them to get on board, sign them up. It's for $3 per month. If you check the description of this video, you will see it. It will engage your reading. It will also help you come up higher. Because remember, personal growth, for us to stay in the path on the path of flow, we must understand how to engage our skills and a whole lot. So many times, your ability for you to even build certain skills, you have to be in a community where you're constantly interacting with other people. Like it's not just for it's not just for you alone, it's for other people as well. So get on board while the training is still on. Next month, we're going to be having a reading challenge in the area of relationship reading challenge, and it's going to be powerful, right? Ensure you get on board. I'm going to be reading 3 books next month. You know, we're getting towards the end of the year, so usually I engage us um, so much towards the end of the year so that we can really read and build certain skills. Okay, so ensure you subscribe to join. If you need a link, you can reach out to me so you can subscribe, but you cannot pay directly to me. Please don't pay directly to me because uh, we have to manage that with the system we have set together. You pay directly to me, I'm going to just take your money and you will not get into the room. So you've got to follow the link. So send me a DM so you can follow the link to sign up. I hope that's clear. If it is clear, say clear. Fine. So now let's talk about number 4, the characteristics of flow. We've spoken about clear goals, immediate feedback, balance between challenge and skill. Now let's talk about deep concentration. Deep concentration. This one is important, and this is also attached to what go goals. So I'd like you to go read the book Deep Work. How many of you have read Deep Work? Deep Work by Cal Newport. Deep Work by Cal Newport. If you are currently subscribed to the e-library, these books are there. Almost I think 95% of them. Alright? So Cal Newport. Do you see that? Cal Newport, deep concentration. You've got to be ready to let go of distractions. In fact, Cal Newport has a lot to share around the model of how to really connect deeply to your work, to your project, and it has a lot to share. So you may read the book and you like the model so much and you can really inculcate them into your life. Okay, you can incorporate them into your life, into your system. Yeah. Did you get that? Did you get that? Mm? Are you learning something? So you've got to be ready to engage in deep concentration. All right. What I do most often is if I want to do this, I go away from my immediate environment, and even if I want to be in my immediate environment, I ensure that nobody's moving in and out, and I'm just all by myself, and I'm so into the zone. At that time, I'm trying to keep up. Now the truth is, there has to be that first phase where you initiate yourself into less distractions, and then you take it up from there. You are not going to experience flow in isolation. There has to be um, um, how well you are able to curate an environment, an atmosphere that can launch you forth. All right, that's why deep concentration is important. So this can also be linked to our goals. Like I said, it has to be just one or maybe at most three. And then loss of self consciousness is another characteristic of flow, when you stop worrying about how you appear. Many of you need to get my course on FOPO. I have a course called FOPO, Fear of Other People's Opinion. How to let go of FOPO, Fear of Other People's Opinion, right? So you see that that course alone is a game changer. I just created it some months ago. I think it's less than 2 hours in total. I think it's about an hour plus. You need to go through FOPO, Fear of Other People's Opinion, because you understand that the reason you have FOPO most often is not because you want to have FOPO. It is that you are from, it could be from where you're coming from, like childhood experience. It could be caused by anything. So you have to let go of self-consciousness in a way that allows you to do the things that you want to do. Nobody can actually achieve great results in life if they are still attached to what other people say. When I started off coaching, I used to post, talk about it. I used to run a blog back in 2017, 2018. I ran a blog for my leaders community in those days. I would talk about books and stuff like that. People used to say a lot. Oh my God, she's a motivational speaker. What's she doing? And after a while, I started seeing those people coming back, trickling back to me for coaching. Oh, come and coach me. They'll come like Nicodemus in the night. How can I be born again? How can I be born again? And Jesus will be like, oh my God, you've got to understand this because you've been a philosopher, you've been philosophizing all your life. Is it okay? Should I go into my mother's womb the second time? Oh, I see how dumb you are right now. So you still can't get this? You see? So they come like Nicodemus in the night. This person themselves is a motivational speaker. Oh, I'm better than her. I can do it more than her. Now she's your coach. She's teaching you. She's mentoring you quietly. Do you see that? So you've got to let go of what people say. I know some of my students right there, first time encounters with people, when they started posting online, they're like, oh my God, what's she doing? Does she even know what she's doing? Does he even know what he's doing? But right now they're doing excellently well. So you have to let go of such conversations. Don't allow them get to you. It's not necessary. And number 6 is time transformation. That's another characteristic of it where it's almost as though you don't know. I think I said this from the inception when we started off this conversation. But it could be days I'm just meditating. Like I do that a lot in the morning. Maybe I wake up at 4 a.m. I'm meditating, talking to God and myself. And then by the time it's 5, I don't even know. And I check my time, I'm like, too fast? What's going on? I need more 3 hours. I need more 3 hours. What's going on? Do you get what I'm saying? I need more 3 hours. I'm glad tomorrow morning night is going to be Saturday, right? So by God's grace, if I wake up at 4, I can do my meditation till like 7, you know, before I go wake up the kids. Because I'm going to be able to do like 3 hours, right? As a stretch, I can pray, I can meditate, I can talk to God, I can have fun with myself. Do you see that? So the time at that level may not really be relevant because you will not even know. Do you know that when you are asleep, you are in a state of flow, right? If you are not suffering from insomnia, how many of you know insomnia? Lack of sleep, right? If you are not suffering from insomnia, you know that sleep is a state of flow. Let's relate it to sleep. When you sleep and you wake up in the morning, what do you usually think about? It's almost as though you've been sleeping for like 10 minutes or 30 minutes. Like if you really enter into deep sleep, the alpha state. Is it alpha, delta, theta, theta, alpha, beta, beta, alpha, beta, right? Which is the lowest? Delta is the lowest, followed by theta, then alpha, and then beta. Beta is when you are most alive, right? You're like, oh my God, like beta phase. Then we have the alpha state. Before you go to bed, that moment between your awakeness and your sleepiness is alpha. And that's why if you want to condition your kids, you condition your system, can put anything you want to learn at that level, and within that state of alpha, as you are transitioning into theta, a lot can really be can really absorb a lot into your system. I'm not speaking Chinese. No, I'm talking about your brain waves. DTAP. I use the term DTAP to represent it. DTAP. Your brain waves. Many of you know that your brain has waves, has wavelengths. You see the way the ocean moves. Your brain too does this kind of acrobatic movement. But they all have interpretations at different wavelengths. Alright? They all have interpretations, they have rhythm, they have flow and everything. So DTAB, DTAB. Okay? DTAB. Do you understand what I'm saying? Guys, do you understand? DTAB, 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 DTAB. Okay, let me see if I can type it in the comment section. DTAB. So some of these things I'm saying, guys, you can actually go back and research them. Okay. DTAB. Data, theta, theta, theta. Alpha and beta. So when you give birth to a baby, the baby is usually at the beta phase, and that's why they're always sleeping. They will sleep for 24 hours. Alright? They will sleep and sleep and sleep. Alright? They'll keep sleeping and sleeping, and nothing is happening. Did you see that? So that's the level of data. So I was talking about your ability to just relate it back to sleep. That at the level of data, many a times you are sleeping so much, right? Um, it's really difficult for an adult to get back to data when it comes to sleep, right? It's usually beta, usually alpha, theta. Yeah, data can still happen if you have a special grace for sleep. Yeah. There was a time I was carrying out research and I came across um, a certain study that there is a sleep lab in the abroad. I don't know how many of you are here that understand what I'm saying. Like if you don't live in Nigeria or maybe you don't live in any of the countries where that is in your system, you can just shut down. But they said it have sleep labs. Sleep labs, meaning if you want to sleep and really go down into the zone where you can receive optimal healing in your soul, in your system, you can go visit those people, right? You can go visit them and they will put you on their beds with some wirings in your system so you can sleep like a baby and then you can revisit data. It's difficult for an adult to visit data in their sleep phases, but it's possible. Yeah, it happens. It happens. It's just that many of us are so chaotic. We need a degree of orderliness in our system for us to be able to get back to the state of delta and theta. We need a degree of orderliness in our system. How many of you are enjoying the class? We have already done our 30 minutes. Should we come to an end? Should we bring it to a close? Or should we continue? Should we go for another 30 minutes? So we'll do 2 hours today. 2 hours. Okay, so I've typed it now. So let's continue. So there's a degree of uh, of rest that happens. So when you sleep, you are usually in the flow state. That's when you wake up. You have slept for 8 hours. You're like, oh my God, you're stretching. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's as if nothing even happened. I need more hours. I need more hours. My son would often say, Mommy, please, I want to sleep more on Saturday mornings. So I think I was asking them the other day, I'm like, when would you like to wake up? He says, I would like to wake up by 11, 11 a.m. I'm like, oh my God, okay, so we're gonna see how that will happen, right? And then it's not because you are not sleeping enough, it is that that's how it's created by God. And that's why somebody dies. I just believe that that's what happens. They don't even know that time is passing, they are sleeping. So by the time they wake up, it will be like they just slept yesterday, maybe after 1,000 years when Jesus will come. You see what I'm saying? So that is a state of flow where you don't even know that time is passing. It's almost as though you become one with God, you become one with eternity, and then you are able to really do the work that goes beyond chronological timing. Okay, it's at that level you can also begin to tap into the kind of timing that launches you into sacredness, that launches you into results, launches you into the kind of feedback that you never anticipated. So that is it. You have to let go of time transformation. That is also a factor there, and a sense of control. At this level, you are not forcing anything. You are just flowing. You are flowing in the flow. Do you see that? So you are not forcing anything. You're not forcing yourself to read a book. Coach said we should read this book. Oh, ah, I've not been able to read it. I've been very busy. A lot has been going on. Where are my busy people in the room? Tired, busy, 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 busy. Like my busy people, where are you? Where are you? I've been very busy. We are all busy. Is there anybody that is not busy? All right. But there's something that Steve Morris shared in his work, strategic mindset. He said, if you've been busy, it simply means that you have not been able to sit down and think to work with the perfect strategy that can align you. Because business is not a strategy. Business isn't a strategy. All right, it's just a way to just maybe encourage yourself that maybe something happened, that's why you've not been able to keep up. It isn't a strategy. You've got to be ready to let go and really plan your life in a way that aligns. So it's at the level where you're no longer forcing it. So Coach Tracy said we should read this book on leadership now by Brian Tracy. And I go, oh my God, oh, and then you can just pick up this book and you can read until you get to the last chapter. That is flow. Somebody will say it's grace. It's grace. They have grace for it. Okay? So that is it. You have to understand that at the level of flow, time does no longer matter. That's why um, Thomas Edison would create a more than 1,000 light bulb filament before he got the perfect one. And somebody will be like, oh, I think other research says that he did over 10,000. Some are saying 1,000. Whether it's 1,000 or 10,000, you know what it means to create this thing, like to create this thing in different ways, 1,000 times. John C. Maxwell, the book we're currently reading, currently, he says something really fascinating in his book. Ask us what people think. That creativity is knowledge having fun. Hmm. That really touched me in a different way. That knowledge having fun is creativity. So you have an exposure to a certain light, and then you are ready to have fun with it. You are ready to showcase it to the world in different formats till it is rightly accepted as a disruption in the status quo, as a disruption in the system. You are more than willing to accept it and to continue to flow at that level. You see, it's a disruption. So if you are not ready to let go and to understand that flow means that you are no longer forceful of your journey of growth. You are no longer, thank you, Miracle, for putting that out. Let me highlight it. Creativity is knowledge having fun. Do you see that? It is knowledge having fun. How many of you love that definition or that polarized statement? Right? So you see that Thomas Edison was just having fun. That's it. He was just having fun. Come on, just like a church is having fun right now. You are not paying me for this class. You're supposed to pay for this. But I'm having fun and I don't really care right now whether you don't pay me. Right? This is it. So you must get to the level where you are having fun with that commitment to the knowledge process that you're going through. And that's why I love to talk about curiosity. Maybe there could be sessions where we just go deep into curiosity, talk about curiosity again and again. See, curiosity will see us and be like, Madam, please leave me alone. you are becoming you are becoming too curious of me, curiosity. Please. I'm even curious of you right now. You see? So creativity is knowledge, having fun. Have you ever tried to say this is what it is that I am doing right now? How do I begin to have fun with it? That is flow. You're having fun, and trust me, is in having fun continuously without looking back that you get to break even. Do you see that? That is where you get to break even. And you just look at your life, you're like, oh my God, I didn't know I got here. So Thomas Edison would do an experiment, create the filament again and again and again. Number one, number two, to number 100, 101, 200, 300. Come on, what is it? Are you the only one in this world? Are you the only one that has electric bulb? What's going on? Like 1,000, 8,000, some people say 10,000. So it took him years to keep experimenting. It took him years to keep experimenting. Like he lost track of time. He lost track of it. How have you been able to nurture your writing gift, Mohammed, that you can lose track of time and you become the next great thing that happens to Africa or to Nigeria or wherever you are, that happens to us in the writing space. Like you break even with your literary prowess, your capacity at that level, and you begin to look at you and like you're a mini god. Like this is it. So many of us are not ready to follow through, to bring our full presence and alignment on the path of our growth. We are not ready. Come on, we are not. We do it for the first time, we are tired, we go to sleep, and then we are expecting to become extraordinary. We're expecting for our giftings to be appreciated and celebrated. We're expecting to be celebrated. Who is going to celebrate mediocrity? Nobody celebrates mediocrity. Even mediocres will laugh at mediocrities. Right? They will laugh at it. They will scorn at it. Right? The last element here, the last characteristic is what I talked about before, which is autotelic experience, the activity that feels rewarding in itself. So this man was having fun, Thomas Edison, and he was enjoying it. All right, I spoke about the Napo story, the Nepal's story. Sorry, not Napo. I'm quick to say it's Napo, but that's not the right pronunciation. I have to check it out. The Nepal's story, right? The Nepal story. So the Nepal story. Someone who's from Nepal are called the Neapolitans. Neapolitans. So the Neapolitan, right? So when we look at the person's story, like, come on, who does that? Like you told me it's $1,000, and you want to really sell it for 800, and I could negotiate to have it at 800. But I say no, let me buy it at 1,000 because I love your sculpture. I know you are telling me you're not going to sell it for me because I did not engage you at that level of negotiation. Come on, who does that? It is because it is a state of flow. The Nepals has learned how to derive inspiration, enthusiasm, the God factor from that experience, and it trains him again and again on how to sell. On how to sell. Somebody will be like, Coach Faith, why would you just be organizing master classes? You put on the generator. For those people that are not Nigerians, so they don't understand generator. Like, you put it on, you make your research for months, for weeks, you read, you come on board to teach for hours, and you don't get to be paid for it. What's going on? Yes, I'm having fun, right? And I need you to begin to have fun as well. How many of you understand? You understand? Say I understand. And I need you to begin to have fun as well, right? I need you to begin to have fun so that you can step into this dimension where your God factor can begin to shine, where you can begin to align purpose. Do you get that? Where you can begin to align purpose, where you can begin to connect your identity with with your purpose. All right, where you can begin to bring your full presence to life, where you can begin to advance with a battle and begin to get results. Okay, are you learning something? Are you still there? So that's it. So in today's fast-paced world, most people live in a state of forced growth. They are always striving, but they are never flowing. So they confuse the fact that they are busy with the fact that they are actually making progress. So we've got to let go of these three major barriers. Number one is lack of clarity. Lack of clarity. We said it, you have to just have one goal, have one direction. Go check out the work of J. Patterson on the one thing. All right, some people are going through emotional instability, noise here and there, and they have struggles in their workflow. Okay, they are experiencing struggles in their workflow. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you learning? So we'll be rounding off in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Stay with me. Okay. I lost my note here. Okay, I have to go back to my notes so I don't lose the flow. Yeah. Are you learning something? I can still see some of you in the room. Some have left. The flow is not flowing anymore. Okay. I need to flow with consistency. With showing up, with staying power, it will definitely flow. Okay, my note is back. So it's important that we begin to align ourselves. What has brought me this far over the years is the fact that I did not just learn because I want to learn. I learn because there is a target. There is a goal that I have set out to achieve within a certain frame of time. And once I get myself engaged and connected on that path, it helps. So I want to talk about the pathway into flow. Like we spoke about the characteristics and so much more. But I've spoken about this pathway. But I'm just going to break it down for us so that we can have a roadmap and we can round up for today. Is that okay? So we're going to talk about purpose, we talk about presence, and then we talk about what progress. These are the pathways. Okay? The first one is you have to know why you are doing what you're doing. You have to understand that you have to bring your full presence. Now, personal development is not something you do haphazardly. It's not an haphazard journey. All right. Some people say haphazard. It's not haphazard. It's not an haphazard journey, right? It is a journey that requires intentionality, that requires how well you're able to bring your full self to the table. Like you're not doing this as a fan of, you're committed to it. And then progress, you must be aware that each step you take will move you forward in the right direction once you are able to align. Once you are able to align, it will move you forward. It will advance you, it will scale you. So that is it, my friend. Flow is beautiful. The state of complete absorption. The stage of complete what? Absorption. All right. Let's talk about this. Also, what we call the flow cycle. The flow cycle, right? You can get this through Stevie Kotler's flow research. His work on optimal performance. Mm. Maybe we'll read it in the book club. So the book by Stephen, just like Stephen Kotler, I remember. Stephen Kotler, just type it in my inbox. Stephen Kotler, right? He spoke about these 5 phases. The first one is the struggle phase. Don't be deceived. God is not mocked. At the beginning, you will struggle, all right? But why this teaching is important is so that you can create that balance, so that you can let go of the struggle within a short space of time, so the struggle doesn't linger for a long time. I hope you get it. So the struggle phase is where you are learning, you are structuring your capacity, you're gathering data. This is where you start off at up here. Now, if we want to use the analogy of the comfort zone breakdown, so the learning zone from the growth zone you move into the transformation zone. At the level of transformation is when you become um, one with your journey. You're no longer just talking about growth right now. You are now talking about you becoming one with your journey and your life becoming a legacy blueprint. That once others see you, they just see you as a system. You are a system. They want to study you right now as a curriculum. That's what the Bible talks about. That we have to come up higher in growth in the spirit, so that we can be peaceful. All right. So we're no longer experiencing fear back and forth. All right. We're there today, tomorrow we're out. It's a double-minded man. You have entered into the state of transcendence, a state of transformation where you are now a light. All right. You are not a city that is set on a hill that cannot be hidden. Do you get that? You are a city right now set on a pedestal, like you're set on a platform, an elevated platform and you cannot be hidden anymore. All right, that is it. Like you've gone beyond just the back and forth, the struggle, and all of that. So, one thing that will help you at this phase is that you get to immerse yourself in an experience, a community, coaching, mentorship, learning consistently. Struggle phase is where you gather data, you learn, you stretch your capacity. And then we'll now begin to talk about the release phase. Type them in your notebook or in the comments. The struggle phase, the release phase is where you let go of control and tension, right? That is it. So you have left the comfort zone now. Possibly you have expanded your comfort zone to be able to step into the fear zone. You're not afraid anymore to dare. You're not afraid to take steps. You're not afraid to do the things that you ought to do. You are not afraid anymore. All right? You pick up a book, you're like, I'm going to read this book. I'm going to set my target. I'm going to set my implementation intentions. I'm going to build the right habits. Or I'm going to step into the possibility mindset. The author of um, Ask Those People Think, but that's John Simonson that we're currently reading in the book club. It says something really fascinating about the possibility mindset, right? There is a way it inspires you to want to do more. Possibility mindset, it's on fire, right? Possibility mindset, it's on fire. It's a non-negotiable, right? You've got to be ready to step into that mindset where you get to let go, get to release, and let go of the tension that comes with the journey. All right? You let go of it. And then the flow phase is where you now begin to have deep immersion, consistent immersion. The recovery phase is where you rest, you reflect, and then the integration phase is where you make flow part of your rhythm, make it part of your daily encounters, part of your daily experience. Do you understand? So you cannot enter flow without first releasing control. Many of us are still holding on to so many things, but you've got to be ready to release what? Control. You've got to be ready to release it because flow happens when you stop trying to force it, when you stop trying to force outcomes. Remember, authenticism, you have to be in love with the journey, you have to be in love with the process, you have to be in love with the natural rhythm, okay? The natural rhythm as it comes. Because a lot of times we want to force our way through. But if you understand that this is my journey, I'm going to embrace it irrespective. Yes, there could be a season where it's almost as though you are struggling. But if you release it, you allow yourself to go through all that I have shared with you, learning, immersing yourself, connecting to a mentor, having those feedback, setting one goal, engaging in deep concentration, and a whole lot. Once you begin to do all of that, you now begin to enter into the state of flow and rhythm where you become one with your journey. It's a long walk, but I want to encourage you, friends, family, I want to encourage you. Do the work. Do the work, right? It pays. It's going to set you on fire. And if you've been back and forth, you know that by now you're supposed to be experiencing certain heights of growth. You've just been everywhere, like you've not stayed committed. So go back to the characteristics of flow and see how you begin them into your life. Clear immediate feedback, balance between challenges and skill. So if you are still holding on to certain skills that are no longer serving you, it is time to up level. Deep concentration, loss of self-consciousness, and a whole lot more. Right? That is it. You've been able to look at the power of flow, how to stop struggling and start growing with ease. I like you to watch this video 10 times. Right? I like you to watch it 10 times. Watch it again and again and again. You're going to be glad you did. Yeah, we're rounding off right now. Remember some of the key things were shared. I believe you've been able to understand the meaning of flow, the meaning behind that. You've been able to understand what it means to struggle and how to grow with ease. You've been able to understand that there are blocks stopping you and that you have to recognize that. You also be able to learn that the flow state is an everyday journey. You've got to be activated. And that is what we've done here. We've activated you. All right, we have activated. Each time you see yourself behind the way or the course on which you are standing on the path of purpose, look at yourself and be like, oh my God, what's happening? Why am I not flowing? Is it that my identity is not aligned? I don't understand who I am anymore. Is it that I don't understand my purpose for the season? Why am I not having this flow? Why am I having fragmentation? What's going on? Why am I breaking away? Why am I not connected? Why am I not aligning? Ask yourself those empowering questions. Get a good coach, get a mentor, join the community. The more you have knowledge, the more clarity will come through. Clarity answers to knowledge. Without knowledge, no clarity. All right? Without knowledge, no clarity. Clarity, it's a prerequisite, it's a precursor to it. All right? I want to wish you all the best. Thank you for stopping by, for joining the class today. I am grateful that you have been able to join in. We're going to meet again next week, but before then, go ahead and join the book club. We're reading the book As a Super People Think, and our review is coming up on the 27th. We also have other coaching outlets. I don't overflood you with so many details, but whatever it is you're looking forward to is also looking for you. If you're in for personal development, you're in for transformation, you can send us DMs for proper recommendation on where to begin. But like I said, whatever you are on my personal growth journey, ensure that you subscribe to the book club. Yeah, the book club is for everyone in my community. Okay, those that are passionate and interested about growth, like they don't just want to live haphazardly, they want to get results, they want to ascend. All right, I hope it's been fun, it's been worth your time, and I want to encourage you to invite your friends next week. Yeah, invite them to be in class. Coach Faith is running personal development mentorship programs in the community. Ensure that you always show up. Yeah, I'll see you next week. All right, thank you for your time. So possibly as we go on further research, I could share some of my notes or what have you with you if it is of necessity. But for now, I do have a lovely time ahead. Bye for now. Bye. Thank you for coming to class. Bye for now. I'm going to end the call.